Most men are soft, weak, dreaming instead of executing. But the men who crush life, they've got a secret weapon, and it ain't luck. It's blood, sweat, and a bulletproof mindset. You want to be unstoppable? Pay attention. This is the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Every day, millions of men hit snooze on their potential, but a rare few break through. What makes them different? It's not talent, it's not connections, it's something deeper, forged in discipline, pressure, and raw purpose. In this video, I'm exposing the 6 brutal truths that separate the unstoppable from the average. Let's go. Ruthless clarity of purpose is what separates unstoppable men from the masses of drifting souls wandering aimlessly through life. These men don't dabble. They don't try things. They don't entertain the luxury of seeing how it goes. No, they commit like their life depends on it. Because to them it does. They pick a target, lock onto it, and go through hell if they have to in order to hit it. There's no backup plan, no safety net, no exit strategy. Plan B is for cowards. Plan B is for the ones who are ready to quit before they even begin. But the men who become unstoppable, they burn the boats. They destroy the comfort zones. They make failure unacceptable, and they don't stop until they conquer. When your purpose becomes an obsession, everything else becomes noise. You stop scrolling, stop overthinking, stop second guessing, and you get to work. You become dangerous, not because of brute force, but because your mind is locked in. That level of clarity repels distractions like armor. While everyone else is chasing shiny objects and hopping from idea to idea, the man with ruthless purpose moves like a missile. Straight, fast, and focused. He's not seeking motivation, he's operating from conviction. That's the difference. Most men live in a fog. They have vague ideas, loose goals, and shallow commitments. That's why they start strong and fade fast. But when you know exactly why you're here, what you're after, and what it costs to get it, that fog burns away. You wake up earlier, you train harder, you stop negotiating with weakness, you stop asking for permission, you stop waiting for the perfect time, because you realize the time is now and the man you need to become is forged in the fire of daily execution. Clarity is power. Not wishy-washy vision board clarity. I'm talking about the kind of clarity that stares you in the face when you look in the mirror and says you have one shot. Don't effing waste it. You either own your purpose or you sell your life to distractions. There is no middle ground. You're either on mission or you're in the way of yourself, your future, and the legacy you'll leave behind. Unstoppable men understand this. Your life doesn't change when you learn more. It changes when you decide. Decide who you are, decide what you're building, decide that comfort is no longer an option. Once you decide, once you lock in, the world starts bending to your will. Because nothing is more magnetic than a man who knows exactly what he wants and is willing to bleed for it. So if you're tired of drifting, tired of starting over, tired of being average, make the damn decision. Get clear, get ruthless, get obsessed. Because once you commit with every ounce of who you are, there is no force on earth that can stop you. Only clarity can make you that dangerous. Excuses are the language of losers. You want to know why most men never break free from mediocrity? Because they're masters of excuses. I don't have time. I'm tired. I'm not ready. I need to wait for the right moment. Those are the words that cage your potential and shackle you to the life you complain about every damn day. Let me be crystal clear. No one ever built an empire or crushed their goals by making excuses. The world doesn't give a damn about your reasons. It rewards execution, plain and simple. Do you think the most successful men wake up every morning feeling motivated, fully prepared, and rested? Get real. They're tired, overwhelmed, and still show up. They do the work because they made a commitment to themselves. Excuses are comfort's mask. They're the lies we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort, risk, and effort. But here's the brutal truth. If you keep feeding yourself excuses, you will starve your future. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They are the poison that kills dreams quietly and efficiently. No one cares how tired you are. No one cares that you don't have time. If your goal's important enough, you will make time. You will sacrifice, you will hustle, you will prioritize with ruthless precision. The difference between the men who succeed and those who fail isn't luck or resources. It's relentless action in the face of obstacles. Excuses are the easy way out for the weak. Execution is the battle cry of the strong. It's time to stop whining and start grinding. Every excuse you give is a choice. You choose comfort over growth. You choose fear over courage. You choose failure over success. And you know what? That's on you. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad timing is the moment you take back your power. The moment you take responsibility for your life is when you become unstoppable. Think about the men you admire, the ones who dominate their industries, who lead with iron will and leave a legacy. Do you think they got there by sitting around waiting for the perfect moment? Hell no. They faced setbacks, failures, and crushing doubts. But they never said, I'm not ready. They didn't get paralyzed by fear or laziness. They showed up, they adapted, and they executed with ferocity. Excuses are the easy path. They give you permission to stay mediocre. But if you want to live at a higher level, you have to reject that path every single day. You have to look in the mirror and say, I'm done with excuses. Because when you do, you unlock a power inside yourself that no one can take away. Execution creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence fuels more execution. It's a cycle that breaks through barriers and builds empire. You want to be unstoppable? Then stop talking about what you don't have and start using what you do have. Stop waiting for perfect conditions because those don't exist. The real world is harsh, unpredictable, and unforgiving, but it respects one thing above all else: results. When you execute relentlessly, you send a message to the world and to yourself that you refuse to be ordinary, that you are a man who takes what he wants and earns what he deserves. So next time the voice in your head whispers, I can't, scream back, watch me. Stop giving excuses airtime and start giving your goals your full attention. Execution is the only language success understands. Speak it fluently and nothing will be able to stop you. Daily discipline is not just a habit, it's the foundation that separates those who dream from those who achieve. If you want to be unstoppable, you need to understand this truth deep in your bones. Freedom is earned through structure, not granted by chance. The men who move mountains don't wait for motivation to strike like lightning. They create their own storms and keep grinding no matter how they feel. When they're tired, they push harder. When they're uninspired, they force themselves into action. Because success isn't a one-time event or a lucky break. It's the relentless repetition of good choices, day after day, regardless of circumstances. To be clear, discipline is not sexy. Nobody wants to talk about the hours nobody sees, the sacrifices nobody applauds, or the mundane routines that nobody glamorizes. But this is where the battle is won. Every moment you decide to show up, even when every fiber of your body screams to quit, you are stacking the bricks of your empire. This is how ordinary men become unstoppable forces. By making discipline their non-negotiable code of conduct. You don't wait for perfect conditions or ideal feelings. You execute relentlessly because you understand that discipline creates freedom, and freedom isn't a gift. It's a prize won in the trenches. Think about it. If you can't keep your word to yourself, how the hell are you going to lead others? Leadership begins with self-mastery. If you promise yourself to get up at 5 a.m., to write that page, to make that call, and you break that promise repeatedly, you are training your mind and body to accept failure. You're teaching yourself to settle for less. But when you follow through on your commitments, especially the small ones, you build unshakable trust with the most important person in your life. you. This trust is the fuel that powers your confidence and propels you through the darkest hours when giving up feels easiest. Discipline also means embracing discomfort. Every moment you choose to act instead of procrastinate, to sacrifice temporary pleasure for long-term gain, you're rewiring your brain to crave progress instead of instant gratification. Unstoppable men don't run from discomfort, they welcome it. They know that discipline sharpens the mind, hardens the will, and turns resistance into momentum. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. You have to ask yourself which pain you're willing to endure. And it's not just about physical actions. Discipline includes the mental grind. It's about setting boundaries, controlling your thoughts, and refusing to be hijacked by doubts, fears, or distractions. It's about deciding each day what you will tolerate and what you won't. Every morning, these men commit to a standard of excellence that leaves no room for excuses. Their discipline flows into every aspect of life: health, work, relationships, and mindset. This total commitment creates unstoppable momentum that no setback or obstacle can break. At the end of the day, discipline is your bridge from where you are now to where you want to be. It's the daily hammer pounding away at your weaknesses until they become strengths. The men who become legends, who crush their goals and build empires, do so because they treat discipline like oxygen, impossible to live without. So ask yourself, are you willing to be uncomfortable today so you can be free tomorrow? Because that's the truth. Daily discipline isn't optional if you want to be unstoppable. It's your damn obligation. When pressure hits, most men fold like cheap tents. Stress floods their minds, their thoughts scatter, and their confidence evaporates. Fear creeps in, doubt whispers lies, and hesitation sets in like a damn cancer. That's what separates the weak from the unstoppable: emotional control under fire. The average man lets his emotions run the show, becoming a puppet to panic, anxiety, or frustration. But the unstoppable, they don't give their emotions the keys to their kingdom. They lock the door, throw away the key, and refuse to be hijacked by whatever storm brews inside. Instead of cracking, they get laser focused. Pressure sharpens them like a whetstone sharpening a blade. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff with nothing beneath but uncertainty, fear, and chaos. The average man freezes, overwhelmed by what might go wrong. The unstoppable man narrows his eyes and zeroes in on the one move that will get him to the other side. Emotional control means choosing clarity over confusion, action over paralysis, and power over weakness. It means refusing to be a victim to your feelings. Feelings are signals, not orders. When your heart races, your mind can still command your body. When anger surges, you decide whether it destroys you or fuels your fire. This is where champions are made. In the furnace of life's toughest moments, when the pressure is unbearable, the unstoppable man turns inward, steels his resolve, and acts with precision. He knows that losing control means losing everything: respect, momentum, and often the battle itself. That's why emotional control isn't optional. It's a prerequisite for victory. It separates those who complain from those who conquer. If you want to be a man who wins when the world is crashing down, you have to master your emotional battlefield first. Emotional control under fire doesn't mean burying your feelings or pretending you're a robot. It means recognizing what you're feeling without letting it dictate your behavior. It means breathing when chaos threatens to choke you, thinking when instinct screams to run, and acting when hesitation screams to freeze. The strongest men don't ignore their emotions. They harness them like a damn weapon. They transform fear into focus, doubt into determination, and frustration into fierce, unstoppable drive. You've got to understand this simple truth. If you don't control your emotions will control you. And that's a one-way ticket to mediocrity. The world doesn't reward whining or panic. It rewards calm, calculated action, taken even when the stakes are sky high. The men who move forward with unshakable confidence, even under fire, are the ones who rewrite their destinies. They don't wait for perfect conditions because perfect conditions don't exist. Instead, they build their empire in the chaos, mastering their inner world first. This skill of emotional mastery is forged through relentless practice. It's made in the daily grind of self-discipline, reflection, and mental toughness. It means facing discomfort head-on, building resilience like a muscle, and never backing down to your own inner storms. When life punches you in the face, and it will, your ability to remain composed determines if you fall or rise. Rise, and you become unstoppable. So ask yourself, when everything falls apart, who takes control? You or your emotions? If you want to be among the unstoppable, the men who don't break, but break records instead, start here. Master your emotional control or prepare to be controlled. Because champions don't get rattled. Champions get results. If you want to understand why some men become unstoppable while others remain stuck in mediocrity, look no further than the company they keep. The environment around you, the people you spend your time with, will either lift you up or drag you down. This is not just some feel-good advice, it's a brutal reality. Show me your circle, and I'll show you your ceiling. It's a simple truth that the men who rise to the top surround themselves with other men who share their hunger, their discipline, and their refusal to settle for anything less than greatness. Unstoppable men don't tolerate dead weight. They don't waste their energy trying to motivate those who are content with average. Why? Because complacency is contagious. If you're constantly around people who make excuses, complain, or settle for the bare minimum, guess what? You'll start acting the same way. The second you allow comfort seekers into your inner circle, you're planting the seeds of your own failure. The world is ruthless. It doesn't reward softness or laziness, and neither will your friends, if they don't push you to get better every single day. This isn't about cutting off everyone who isn't perfect, but it is about being ruthless with your time and energy. Unstoppable men don't just pick their friends randomly. They choose mentors, peers, and even rivals who challenge them. They seek out people who have the guts to call them out when they're off track, who push them beyond their limits, who inspire and demand excellence. When your environment is made up of killers, men who grind, who hustle, who execute relentlessly, your standards go through the roof. You no longer accept good enough because your entire world is built on crushing obstacles and raising the bar. You have to understand that energy is real. The vibes, the attitudes, the beliefs that people carry around, they rub off on you whether you want them to or not. The moment you settle for being the biggest fish in a small pond, you stop growing. But if you swim with sharks, you learn to fight, to adapt, and to dominate. That's the mindset of unstoppable men. They refuse to be comfortable. They actively seek out challenge, competition, and high expectation. This is how you build resilience. This is how you cultivate a mindset that's unbreakable. And let me be clear, this isn't some soft kumbaya approach to friendship. This is a strategic move to win in life. Surrounding yourself with the right people is as important as having the right skills or work ethic. It's a multiplier effect. When you're around winners, you pick up their habits, their mindset, their grit. You start to think bigger, move faster, and push harder. When you're surrounded by excuses and distractions, you get weaker. You get comfortable, you lose sight of your purpose. So take a hard look at your circle. Who are the people you spend most of your time with? Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Are they pushing you to be better or settling for less? Are they the kind of men who want to build empires, or are they just looking for an easy ride? Unstoppable men don't have time for passengers. They want co-pilots who share the same vision and the same hunger. If you want to be unstoppable, start by upgrading your environment. It's not just about who you know, it's about who you become because of who you know. Cut the dead weight, surround yourself with killers. Demand more from your circle because your circle determines your destiny. This is the secret behind the men who don't just survive, they conquer. You were not born to be average. You've just been programmed to play it safe. But inside you, there's a beast waiting to be unleashed. So stop whining. Stop waiting. Start executing. The world doesn't owe you a damn thing, but it will respect you when you take what's yours. Now go. Be unstoppable.